Okay, guys, we have one of the directors from this semester, one of this semester's UP shows.
I am Orlando Babotoy. I teach beginning movement at Cal State Long Beach, and I also directed That Beautiful Laugh.
That Beautiful Laugh. So can you just tell us a little bit about the process of devising this show? Because you came up with the script and the concept for the show through the rehearsal process, is that right?
Right. It's completely collaborative. What I mean by that is that the actors that are in the cast had complete creative rights along with me in terms of creating the show from scratch. And the whole theory about the show, That Beautiful Laugh, is we set off, and that's a theme for us, we set off what that meant to begin with. What is a beautiful laugh? And then we pursue it. What makes laughter beautiful? We look at different kinds of textures of laughter or definitions of laughter, and then we try to find, for us at least, that beautiful laugh. What makes laughter beautiful? So that was our pursuit, and that's sort of our springboard to taking off in terms of creating the show.
All right, and can you talk a little bit about like how you work with the actors in that process, like what you do with them?
Yeah. First of all, they all had to take my class, so the vocabulary and the language, I don't have to teach them during the process of rehearsing. So they know already what I mean when I say go here, do it with this theme. So I don't have to explain it during rehearsals. So they've had to understand those vocabularies first and foremost. And in all sense of the word, fucking around is a priority of the show, so we look at fucking around seriously.
Fucking around seriously. I like that. Would you mind talking a little bit about like aesthetically in terms of how you worked with the designers, the lighting designer, the set designer, and what you're looking for aesthetically in your show?
They all have to be, because for the set designer, the designers in general, they didn't have the vocabulary as the actors did. So I had to basically sit them down and say that this is a work in progress, meaning they would have to create as we rehearse the set, the tone of it, the light of it, and also the costumes the actors primarily chose or came up with, and the costume designer had to have humbled themselves first and make sure that all the costumes stay in tune to each and every single one clown or single one actor. The set, again, we came up with as the rehearsals went. It became very easy to design something when we knew we had under $200 of budget. So that pretty much but with the light was specific, much more specific. I gave Donnie Jackson a note that he sort of mulled over for a few months, and that note was a Victrola. If all of you know, if you don't know what a Victrola is, look it up. It's an old record horn player that's made out of brass, and brass, as the old days know, when it ages, it gives it a sense of value. And I gave him that note in terms of the look of the light for the world. It's an age, but it's a kind of an aging process that has value.
You mentioned the word clown when you were talking about the actors' ownership over some of the choices that they're making. Can you talk a little bit about
Clown.
what clown means in the context of the show? Because I think most of my students probably think of it as, big rainbow eggs,
Bozo.
and zapatos grandes.
The trick is to divert that kind of thinking from whatever the initial thought is of what a bozo clown or killer clown or Stephen King clown, all the capitalized version of it, to thinking about the part of you that is the most expressive, the part of you that at some point in their life, the first and initial thought when they look at a puddle is to jump in and get dirty, as opposed to an afterthought after you stepped or over it or went around it because it was dirty. If you have that kind of thinking when you see a puddle right away, that your thought goes, I gotta jump in, you're in the right place in terms of thinking of the clown. It's also, there's no preference. Clown is all preference. There's no right or wrong. But clown to me in theater defines the best of actors, because they're the actors that are the most free. They can do tragedy, they can do comedy without being critical. How do I look when I do this? How do I position myself? There's no thought of that. What they do is, how can I make this so that it's fun for me? And I can be free. Even if I have to just sit still, I can still have fun.
They have just turned in papers on Hamlet, and so they've seen a production that is basically a parody of a Shakespeare play, and that there was a lot of improvisation and audience interaction. In terms of improvisation and audience interaction, should they expect that kind of thing?
Absolutely, especially in this kind of work. We are complete servants to the audience. So the audience tells us if the show is bad or good through laughter. And we don't know that until the audience gets there. And the whole texture of when the audience gets there is also, with this place particularly, Cal State Long Beach, if the sense is that the audience is there by force, then the conversation between the actor and the audience becomes different. If the audience gets there because they want to be there, also that has a different conversation with the actors on stage. So it's an interesting conversation, but there will be interactions, absolutely.
All right, well, Orlando's show opens this Friday, right?
This Friday.
Yeah, this coming Friday.
27.
So we will be there the following week or after the break. But anyways, thanks for talking for us, Orlando, and good luck on your opening there.
Thank you, and looking forward to seeing you guys.
Okay.